Peace, peace. Kevin L., your brother, your father, your grandfather, your uncle, your cousin. Coming with another on the Spiritjewel journey. Spirit jewels, right? They call them spirituals. I call them spirit jewels. Jewels for the spirit. Getting into this Oahspe, right? Which is a primary for the spiritual and practical enlightenment and development of individuals, groups, and humanity for their glory and happiness and for the glory of the whole. In the words of Jehovah, right? And his angel ambassadors. You know what I mean? An inspired tome by Dr. John Newbrough. You know what I mean? That brought that information that was in the old text up to date. Already did a video about an article about Dr. Newbrough and the fact that that article said that he revealed information of how the pyramids were built, how long it took to build them, and who built them. That scientists later found had some validity to. Talking about the construction of the Great Pyramid. So, on that note, I'm going to hop into this with the first chapter called Thais Prayer. I'm going to try to go through the whole thing. All right. This is from the standard edition for screen reading, which I'm doing, screen reading. All right. It says, Jehovah, the Creator, said, I blow my breath upon the planet, and man comes forth, inquiring, who am I, and what is my destiny? So I send an elder brother of man to teach him and show him the light. Right? Show him that light, knowledge. God said, behold me, O man, I am an elder brother. I have passed through death and found the glory of the unseen worlds. Jehovah gave to me, your God, dominion over the earth and her heavens. Man said, I have found truth in corporeal physicality. I know I live, that trees grow and die. This is true knowledge. Give me truth regarding the unseen and a way that I can prove its truth. And in stirring up of man's soul, Jehovah spoke through his sons and daughters. There are footnotes that you can see and read on the side along as I'm reading, so you can see what's meant. Like 4 is, the Creator has many names and is also feminine as will be explained later in Oahspe. So you can read that on the side. Call this a read along. You can mute my voice and read it yourself if you so choose. I hope the words are big enough. But back to verse 6. And in the stirring up of man's soul, Jehovah spoke through his sons and daughters. His voice came up out of the marsh and down from the heavens above. And the children of men heard and saw and rose up because of the Spirit in them. They responded to him, who is Almighty, and their voices were called Tai, because as it is the universal word of all children born, so it represents the universal prayer of man, humankind. Right? It's two different things there, man and humankind. Because there's actually three, because there's man, there's human, and then there's humankind. But Tai said, reveal, O Father, give me light. I see the wide earth, the sun, moon, and stars. But the great vault of heaven appears to be just an empty sky. Where is the dwelling place of the dead, the place of the souls of men? In times past, you have quickened seers and prophets, and through them lifted up your children and proclaimed other worlds. Right? Am I less worthy than those of past ages? All the while, my forefathers, and now I, have abided by your mighty presence. By your own hand, you have quickened my consciousness to be dissatisfied with the old revelations and made me peer deeper into the cause and place of things and to desire further light from your holy place. Right? By your power, my manhood, womanhood has been raised up. Only by your power and wisdom will I be appeased. Right? When I was a child, I believed as a child because it was told to me. But now that I am grown, I desire to know who your prophets were and how they attained their gifts and wisdom of words. The cosmogony you taught in ancient times was sufficient for that day. But now I am raised up by you to receive comprehensive knowledge of the sun and the stars of other worlds and of their travel in your great firmament. Right? And now I cry out to you, where is the promised heaven? Where is the proof of immortal life? By you I was quickened into life and made conscious that I am. To you I come in the majesty you made me, you, my Father. By you I was made, determined to sift all things to the bottom. If you, I know, or in you, I know there's capacity to encompass all my holy desires and answer me. Man, it's phlegm. Excuse me. Or I just got a smoker's voice. So continuing with verse 14 of the first chapter. Give me of your light, O O Father. When I was a child, I called to you as a child. Now I call out in the manhood, womanhood you have bestowed upon me. I will know your Lords, gods, saviors, and your promised heaven. I have scaled the mountain, the countless corporeal worlds traveling in the eternal sea of space. Speak of your handiwork. You hear that? I have scaled the mountain, the countless corporeal worlds traveling in the eternal sea of space. Speak of your handiwork. I perceived that all the stars in heaven would not fill the hollow of your hand, that truly your breath moves the universe. The glory of your works has inspired me with fervor to come to your mighty home. Speak, O Jehovah. You alone can satisfy this soaring spirit that sprang from you, inspired. Give me light, O Father. I have encompassed the earth and bridged its nations with assimilative words. By that they mean words of amity and goodwill that help bring about harmony, fellowship, peace, and unity, being welcoming and congenial. I have encompassed the earth and bridged its nations with assimilative words. My geography is finished. Oh, give me a book of heaven. I have burrowed deep in corporeal knowledge and have seen the drift of all on the earth. Where is the spirit world and land of the dead? Oh, give me light. And then we go into chapter 2 of Ta'i's prayer. Jehovah heard Ta'i's prayer and answered him. He said, let the angels of heaven go down to the earth. My blessed son calls to me in wisdom and truth. And the angels of heaven descended to the earth, for it was in the early days of Danaha, a time of great spiritual light in the firmament of heaven, and the angels manifested and proved the immortal life of man. Right? And it explains that this was the spiritualism movement, which flourished from about 1849 to 1882, being capped by the publication of Oahspe, right? And I have records of my ancestors who lived during this time. And it was a wild time for this book to have come on the scene back then, you know, because my ancestors were not readers at the time. It was oral tradition. You know what I mean? And glyphs. But continuing on with chapter 2, verse 2, Jehovah said, let this day be the beginning of the reign of Cosman, the new era now upon us. For it is the beginning of the wisdom of earth joined with the wisdom of heaven in my name. Meaning physical awareness united with spiritual awareness. That's what we're talking about. Linking up with yourself. And the word cosmon being so near the cosmosin, right? The universal man, the man of the cosmos, which is inclusive of woman, right? the feminine aspect. But continuing on with chapter 2, verse 3, Thais said, "Yet not even half is answered, O my Father in heaven. Since you have proved the immortal life, you have stirred me to my soul's foundation. Where do these inhabitants of the unseen world come from? Where lies this heavenly footstool of your majesty? If when I am dead, I shall see this place, is the germ of that sight not already in me? How am I made that I see, but do not see this?" That's ill, right? How am I made that I see, but do not see this? Hear, but do not hear this? If I am now dead too, that which is to be, will I not then be dead to what is here now? Give me light, O Father. The questions, right? Have you asked these questions? I'm going to read that verse 4 again. If when I am dead, I shall see the place, is the germ of that sight not already in me? Right? How am I made that I see, but do not see this? Hear, but do not hear this? If I am dead now to that which is to be, will I not then be dead to what is here now? Give me light, O Father. The unconsciousness, the sleep spell. Right? Jehovah said, "I gave a corporeal body to man so that he could learn corporeal things. But I made death so that he could rise in spirit as an angel and inhabit my Etherian worlds." And by Etherian worlds, he means, or this writing means, Etherian worlds are heavenly worlds existing in the highest heaven. To the corporeal eye, peering up into the vastness of interstellar space, it looks mostly empty, but to the spiritual eye, it is filled with innumerable worlds, wondrous, awe-inspiring, full of beauty and joy, right? And at the same time, pay attention to the background. So verse 6 goes on. Thais said, "You made both the seen and the unseen. Are they at war or in harmony? My corporeal body is made of earth, flesh, and stone, minerals, bone, and water. Is the spiritual body then not made of air, oxygen, hydrogen, and imperceptible dust? The angels you have sent have feet and legs. Why? Do they walk on the air or wade through it? They have no wings. They cannot fly. They say they have not seen the illustrious angels who have long been dead. Must I also go into the world, spirit world, heaven, simply to meet my neighbors and never salute the wise of ancient days? Give me light, O Jehovah." Right? In that footnote at 17, the depiction of angels having wings was an artistic device meant to symbolize the ability of an angel to rise to the higher heavenly realms and so inspire mortals to understand that the soul was meant to rise beyond the earth. Right? Let's make it plain. Continuing with verse 8, chapter 2. Something within me makes me anticipate the light and glory of what I have not seen, but I must have it tangible and demonstrable, the pure truth. You know what I mean? Got to be able to see it and use it. Have you not given me an inquiring spirit so that I must prove all things to my own satisfaction? How and when then, O Jehovah, shall I find growth for my own members so that I can know the worlds and its inhabitants? For example, spiritual senses such as spiritual ears and spiritual eyes, also soul, discernment, and judgment. The members. I will not be appeased by merely seeing the spirits of the dead or by their testimony. They may call themselves God, Christ, Buddha, Brahma, Allah, Confucius, or Jesus. Yet I will not rest on them or their word. I will put forward my plea to you only, O Jehovah. I am your son and daughter. Right? You have quickened me to know things by my own knowledge. And though it is told me, thus said the Lord of your God, yet I will raise my voice ever above them. And though a spirit says, I am your Jehovah, believe me, I will deny him. Right? Is it the truth thus far? For you have quickened me to rise up above the tales of the ancients and to demand knowledge from your throne. By you, my soul is moved to this magnificence, and only your magnificence can satisfy your son, your daughter. As to the spirits of the dead, I desire to know their dwelling places, how they live, how they travel, their manner of growth, their food and clothes, and how they spend their time, whether they labor or live idly, and above all, to what extent and in what way their corporeal lives affected their spiritual happiness in heaven. Right? Ask the pastors about that. I desire to know too how it was with the ancients. Make clear, O Jehovah, the heavens and ways of my forefathers, for I would apply your lessons wisely. The wisdom of today I will weigh against the crucible of the past and set my star to the future, well prepared. Right? What then, O Father, is your judgment upon the world today? For I desire to know how to live, so that tomorrow may prove an everlasting glory. Make plain the ways of heaven and earth, O my Creator. I would know your creation so that my just place in your wide universe may become known to me. Give me light, O Father, not by the word of mouth. I will have my members quickened so that I can comprehend within myself. Right? Then Jehovah, the Creator, spoke, saying, to all men and women, I gave two senses, corpore and es. In the time of the Cephas, now finished, I allotted time for man to mature corpore, material reality. Right? 19, the Cephas, in the time of Cephas, was enforced culture. But now the time of Cosmon has come, the new era, because we're in a new era, right? And man shall mature, es, spirituality, right? Now you're going to start going up in spiritual degrees. And verse 17 goes on to say, it is well that you be believing toward men and angels, but it is better to develop yourself, right? You have desired to know the mysteries of my unseen worlds and the past histories of the earth. Behold, I will give you a new sense, right? Nuisance, like nuisance, but this is a new sense, which will fulfill your soul's desire. And with it, you shall read the books in the libraries of heaven, right? What some might have called or might call the Akasha records and the Sijin. I mean, because it's two sides, you know what I mean, of the one. Two sides of a path, the beginning of the path and the end of the path. But continuing on with verse 18, chapter 2. In the past, have I not said, all things shall be revealed? Do not think that a loud speaking messenger will come, for man would not believe. But I quicken the righteous with my own hand, and they will comprehend without belief. And that footnote, that is, within themselves they shall perceive the truth or gist of the matter, and thus perceive beyond that which is accepted as true, believed to be true, merely because of tradition, guesswork, unsubstantiated testimony, manipulation of logic or emotion, etc. Right? So you see how this is going down. Verse 19, at 19, the time of preaching and believing is at an end. Man shall know by his own knowledge and practice that which he knows. And this, my light is being manifested in this day. And those footnotes 21 and 22. 21 is, this may seem by some to contradict the 17th verse of the second chapter, which says, being believing is on the right road. But the verse also recommends developing beyond belief, right? That's why we started saying we wanted the facts. We don't care about what you believe about. And then, you know what I mean, the second chapter, verse 19, blah, 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 we learn it is because mere belief is insufficient to attain to Cosmon, or to attain to being, you know what I mean, the universal man, the man of the universe, the higher self, you know what I mean, and a whole bunch of other things that we call it. So going on with verse 20, and again Jehovah spoke in heaven in answer to Tai's prayer, and Oahspe came forth, being one of the first fruits for this, the Cosmic era. And that is the end of Tai's prayer, right? 2 chapters. You know what I mean? And you see how it's going down. So I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put this up, you know what I mean, so you can listen to it at your leisure and read along. Hopefully the words is big enough for you to read along, because reading is fundamental. You got to get to some fundamental things. You got to practice them fundamental things, lest you forget how to do those fundamental things. But I'm going to wrap it up. You know what I mean? And let y'all hold on to that and get back to talking about some other stuff, right? Because we got some shit to talk about. For real, for real. It is getting ridiculous. No, I'm talking about it's getting ridiculous out here. So I'm going to hit the stop button. But before I hit the stop recording button, leave y'all with the way I came in. Peace.